Hello peeps, welcome back to Big Deck Player with me, Matt Sparks. Today we're taking a look at a hunter deck that I have found on Hearthstone.com, and it goes by the name of the Face Hunter, or to be more specific, the Just Sayin's Face Hunter, and this was updated and uploaded by Just Sayin on Hearthstone. So this is where I found the deck, and I shall go through it with you and show you what it contains. Now actually on the I'll put a link in the description, and on the web page itself it goes into some detail as to what to mulligan and general tactics using this deck against certain other decks, like your aggro rogues and miracle rogues and all that kind of stuff. So I will just go through it and we'll play a game, and it's going to be fairly basic. But if you want any more in-depth stuff, just follow the link, and you'll find some more detailed stuff on how to play this deck. Alright, let's take a look. So we'll start off, we've got a couple of Hunter's Marks. Fairly good, especially if you come up against something that has big minions in it, like a Handlock. If it gets to a point where he starts bringing out giants and stuff, having a Hunter's Mark in your hand to easily dispatch that giant is going to make them have a very bad day, because they won't be expecting it. We've also got an Arcane Shot, which can also combo quite nicely with a Hunter's Mark to prevent you from having to trade any minions or trade any damage to your face. We have one Flare. I've found some pretty good use with this Flare against Paladins and Mages as of late. Especially the last game I played with this deck, which had a Mage that was using lots of secrets, and yeah, using a flare can throw them off their game quite considerably, because they'll have their strategy and their plan set out, and then all of a sudden their secret's gone, and they're like, oh, well, what do I do now? Can be pretty useful. A couple of tracking for card draw. I generally don't use this on turn 1 if I can avoid it, unless I've got a really bad starting hand. I usually try and use this if I'm struggling to find an answer to what my opponent has put on the board, because sometimes you can find what you need. I found an eagle horn bow, which is down here, with tracking, which helped me win the match. So sometimes it's worth holding on to a tracking just in case you might need it later on. 2 Leper Gnomes, just because they do 2 damage, and they do 2 damage to the enemy hero when they die, so you can keep up damage to the face. I mean, that's the whole point of this deck. I mean, if it didn't make sense to you already, the fact that it's called Face Hunter, it's all about doing damage to your opponent, more so than trading. We've got 1 Stone Tusk Boar, just for a little bit of extra damage with charge, obviously, and it works well with stuff like the Timber Wolf, and we've got down here the Starving Buzzard. There's not that many beasts in this deck. I think the best way to use the Starving Buzzard is to combo it with Unleash the Hounds, just so you can get kind of maximum card draw out of it. As I say, there's not a huge amount of beasts in this deck, so using it to its full potential is probably best if you can, but obviously it depends on what you've got in your hand. 1 Timberwolf to give the other beasts +1 attack, which can be pretty useful, which means your Stone Tusk Boar can do 2 damage instead of 1. It's played on the same turn. We got 2 Explosive Traps, 2 Freezing Traps, 2 Misdirections. They're the traps that we have in this deck. I don't think there's any more. No, there isn't. Obviously, if you can, combo these with the Eagle Horn Bow to give yourself that extra durability the whole time. So it's similar to the Survival Hunter deck that I've shown before on this series, but this one is more about going for the face, whereas the other one wasn't so much about rushing your opponent's face. We've got 1 Fairy Dragon, just because on turn 2 a Fairy Dragon can be pretty annoying, because you can't always get rid of it that easily. Especially with Paladins. I found that a lot of Paladins on sort of turn 2 and turn 3, you just use their hero power, which means this trades fairly well. We have 3 cost, 2 animal companions. It can be a little bit RNG, and sometimes you don't always get what you want or what you need. But you've got, I mean, I think the Huffer, the 4-2 charge, and the 4-4 taunt, probably my preferred 2 out of the 3 that you can get. But the 2-4 that gives everything +1 attack is pretty good too, if you can get the minions out to warrant having that out there in the first place. Otherwise it kind of just becomes a sitting duck. We've got 2 kill commands. Obviously kill command comboed with something like a Stone Tusk Boar or a Timberwolf can be pretty effective to then do 5 damage to something. Usually I've found Stone Tusk Boar or Timberwolf comboed with this is a nice counter to Ascension Shieldmaster. 2 Unleash the Hounds, as we spoke about earlier, because it's a fairly staple card for most Hunter decks, and obviously it's a good combo, good to combo that with your Timberwolf if you come up against like a Zoo deck or something. An Arcane Golem for extra charge. Try to use this towards late game as a bit more of a finisher if you can, just because you don't really want to start giving your opponent mana crystals in the early game if you can avoid it, because you don't want to try and give them any kind of advantage. 1 Wolf Rider for 3 damage with charge, and a Leroy Jenkins, because you know it's Leroy Jenkins, and if you're going for the face, you kind of need a Leroy Jenkins. Again, with Leroy, you kind of want to leave him till later on in the game when you're trying to finish them off. You don't really want to use him too early, because you'll do your 6 damage, but then he'll die, and then what are you going to do? So, best to try and keep your Leroy and your Arcane Golem until later on in the game if you can avoid it. Admittedly, if you got to turn 7, you got your Arcane Golem and your Leroy Jenkins, you're looking at 10 damage in one go on turn 7. So, you know, that's a pretty hefty wallop on turn 7. So that's the deck. I've had some pretty good success with this, so let's see it in action, and let's go.
Rexar versus Garrosh.
Victory or death! Let the hunt begin.
Alright, so we're up against a warrior this time. I'm going to keep the flare. I think I might use flare turn 1, just because he's not going to have any secrets, so it won't really matter. And sure, yeah, I'll keep those. They might come in handy. I know that the warrior decks quite often have a lot of things with like 4 health and stuff. Yeah, let's just use that.
Job's done.
What do we get? A leper gnome.
Greetings,
We'll give him a greeting.
traveler.
And we'll see what he's got. Oh. Nothing. Okay. Well, let's just shoot him in the face with our hero power. Let's see what he's got up his sleeve. Anything? Oh. It's coining.
Charge forward.
Okay, we can just get rid of that. Could Wolf Rider into it. Let's see what we get. Or Freezing Trap. No, I think we're just going to Wolf Rider into it. I mean, he had to coin to get it out in the first place, so I think we just... We don't want to give things charge. So, we'll get rid of that.
My blade be thirsty.
Okay, we can Stone Tusk Boar, Kill Command to get rid of that. Because they can get pretty nasty. And then we'll hit them for 1. If you don't deal with those Frothing Berserkers fairly early on, they can get out of control, especially with the warrior deck, because they've got means of doing damage to it themselves. Oh, it's just going for my face. Alright. You gonna pass the turn? Thank you. Oh, some misdirection. That could be quite good. Or a freezing trap. Let's Leper Gnome, a freezing trap, steady shot, and hit him in the face. Now you might think that that's a explosive trap, just because this has got 2 health.
For the war chief!
But it's not. It's a freezing trap. Now what you can do? You gonna go straight for my face again? You are. Alright. Well, we'll Arcane Shot and Stone Tusk Boar to get rid of that thing. Ugh, that's not what I wanted to pull. And do we bother putting the misdirection out? Probably not. Not while he hasn't got any minions on the board. It's not really worth it. I guess by putting it out, it could have
It's time for a little
made him
blow.
think it was a snipe or something, perhaps. But now we get the explosive trap. I could run him into this and then pop the misdirection so that whenever he attacks he's got a chance of hitting it, but that seems like a bit of a dumb idea. I think if we just put the explosive trap out, and I'm gonna do that, because that'll die then. I won't take that 5 damage, unless he's got a way of buffing that, which I guess he might have. There we go. Let's go with that. Still going to take 4 damage. Ah, excellent. I'll take that. Eagle Horn Bow. We'll pop out the misdirection. We'll shoot him, and then we'll hit him. And then hopefully the Leper Gnome will try and hit me, and hit him, which will take him down to 9. And then 3, 6. Finishes him off. Unless he can do 16 damage to me in this turn. Which I guess is possible. Possibly. There's only one other person that can hit. No, he's going to armor up. Although I should have enough. Yeah, I've got enough mana where I can use my hero power to get rid of that. Is that it? It is. Good. Well, that's GG then. Okay, so hero power. And we'll hit him for 3. Take him down to 6. And Leroy Jenkins. There we go. And that's the game. This probably wasn't the best example. I've won games a lot quicker and a lot easier than that one. But that was slightly lower ranking. So I'm at rank 15 now. I've used this to rank up from rank 18 to rank 15. And it's been pretty effective. I think I've lost maybe twice in that time. So it's been pretty good so far. I'm going to continue playing a little bit of this and see how far I can take it. Because I'm having quite a bit of fun. I don't play the Hunter's deck very often, so it's pretty cool. So, as per usual, if you do decide to play this deck, you give it a try, let me know how you get on. If you make any videos using this deck, then by all means send me a link via Twitter, and I'll come check it out. And don't forget, as always, the link is in the description below. Go and check out the Hearthstone.com where Just Saying has posted this, so you can get a bit more in-depth look at how the deck works. And I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching, peeps. Goodbye.